Hey, what is going on, guys? So today I wanted to talk about this whole idea of when you should move, where you should move, and what the indicators are for the given movements. A lot of you have voiced your concerns for the issue of general movement, so I hope to address all those kind of questions today with some gameplay examples. Now, in addition, I'm doing a giveaway right now in celebration of me joining the esports org Disrupt. I'm giving away a SCUF Infinity 4PS controller. It's my personal favorite and current weapon of choice on PS4, a Disrupt t-shirt, and a Disrupt bag. So the link will be down in the description below if any of that sounds pleasing to you guys. So best of luck in trying to acquire one of those. Now, before we look at some examples as far as the movement goes, it's important to be aware of several indicators. Basically, what are you going to be looking for that's going to govern your movements? Now, what typically does it for me is I pay attention to, first, sound. I'm trying to listen for the nearest sound, and then I would typically gravitate towards that selected area. Second, operator selection. Which operators did the enemy team bring? What would their roles be with said operators? Third, the clock. How does the clock affect behavior as far as my movements and as far as the other team's movements as the clock winds down? Fourth, my teammates. If my teammates are dying, where did they die from? If they need help, do I need to rotate? All those kind of questions. Fifth and finally, predictability. If my opponent just saw me at a given place, can I go somewhere else to completely mix that up and try and change up the predictability? So I'm going to explain all these as we go throughout these examples, so just keep these in the back of your mind. So first, let's talk about sound. Your ability to hear footsteps, changes in infrastructure, and then gunfire are all crucial in your understanding of movement. You want to be able to catch even the faintest of sounds and then investigate what they mean. Now in this clip, you'll hear a breaching charge.
It's out on the stairs.
Given that sound wasn't the closest thing near me, I decided to direct my attention to the hallway where I knew that there was a gunfight going on. But upon getting a kill, I returned to the spot where I had heard the sound originally. If you hear a faint sound in the distance, with enough time going by, whoever was coming from that side is bound to approach, right? So even though I didn't see an enemy immediately, I kept up with the hunch, moved closer, and then got the incoming opponent. Now here I end up rotating back to where I just killed the attacker, but there was still a mountain up in the hallway when I first killed the guy, so when approaching this angle, I knew to expect enemies that had pushed up. Now, when you guys move up on opponents like this, always try to go undetected for as long as possible. You'll see I ran out of view of the opponent on the staircase and then peeked the closest side of the doorway. Not only did this close the distance between my opponent and I, but it completely changed up where my opponent originally saw my head, which was about 20 feet or so back. This would result in a body shot rather than a headshot on the first few bullets, as his aim is set for a further distance. Now let's talk about operator selection. It's very valuable to figure out what the enemy team is playing, as you can typically associate certain operators with certain positions around the map. Like Thermite and Habana, for example, will be trying to open things that you reinforced, so pay attention to what you reinforced. Jaeger will probably be spawn peeking somewhere, like everywhere on the map. Caveira will be roaming, just to name a few. In this clip, you'll see my attention is very much directed on sight, but then I'll realize that they have a Caveira. Knowing this, with the time winding down, I can typically bet that all the roamers are going to start heading back to the objective. And since I've already killed several people from this direction of the objective, you can also be certain that the roamer is probably trying to flank me. Now this is when I ended up falling back for a second and watching for it. You'll see here I tried to simply leave a drone for my teammate to watch, but I managed to luck out on the timing and just get the kill instead. So just be aware of operators, as they will typically affect where you move to specifically counter. In a situation where it's a 2v5, you know the other team is going to get pushy. They probably won't be as careful than if it was a regular 5v5, so with this in mind, I ended up pushing up the stairs aggressively, and ended up working out. Taking the fight to them allowed me to have the element of surprise, so now that I'm upstairs, I'm in a pretty good position to just wait and listen. In these moments, you want to try and talk with your teammate to figure out how many people he or she is dealing with, so you know whether or not to come help. My teammate didn't need me immediately, so I just held my ground and let the time wind down. I'm in a great position, a typical dropping point into objective and kitchen, so just chilling here was a great bet. Now, because I killed someone upstairs, the enemy team is probably out searching for me, so there was no reason to move at all, but just to remain quiet and patient as possible. I did end up fragging out another, so that was pretty awesome. Now I'm going to end up rotating back to site, because with the 2v2, I know that my teammate and I can watch both sites and divide the defense equally. With the clock running down, you know the attacking team is going to have to make their push, so you can simply just enjoy the advantage of being a defender and just wait it out. Now, I've already been aggressive this round, so to get a few kills kills, but now it's time to just wait patiently and not get kill hungry. This 1v2 is based on that whole predictability thing that we talked about earlier. I have been spotted holding the defense in objective B, so naturally my opponents probably think that I'll be coming through that doorway to get to site since they had already planted. I ended up going to train for 2 reasons. First, most people will plant and then hop out to get an angle and train, so I wanted to see if the first line of defense was in the train room. It was not. Second, changing up predictability. By peeking this window, I was able to catch one of the opponents off guard and get it down to the 1v1. I ended up rotating back to the doorway because it was called out by Gavin that
southwest corner, looking at the window.
And since vaulting through a window and pre-firing probably isn't the easiest thing to do, I just pushed the doorway, got the kill, and prevented the defuse.
Bavinacity with the calls, my mans.
In situations where time is winding down, you need to start thinking about where your opponents will come from and how you can best counter it. I'm running Mira here to give me intel on all of West Main. Because I've shut down this area, I know that the only enemies going to try and slip by are going to try and come through the dining room. Now when it comes to the 1v1, West Main no longer becomes my focus as I need to prevent a plant from happening in kitchen. Since I killed several people from this Mira window, he won't be pushing from West Main, but instead probably coming from the main lobby area. I chose to have an angle by the shrubs as I'd be able to see when he passed. Mainly for intel purposes, I knew I probably wouldn't be able to get a headshot. So when I missed these first shots though, I ducked down to prone and narrowed my angle. As a defender, you play the clock first. You prioritize making the attacking team plant, giving you a wide open kill if they try and go for it with 0 seconds left on the clock. So always rotate or move to a position that is safe until the clock has officially hit 0 seconds, and then you know that they're planning. Finally, pay attention to how the other team plays. This team ended up rushing in nearly every round, so upon hearing the faint ash breach and lightning feet, I knew to move towards the nearest entry point and pick up the frag. Now with that done, the enemy team ended up opening up a hatch in the break room. Now when an attacking team opens up soft walls or hard breaches hatches, be prepared for them to peek. Like that's almost a definite. Most people are going to either immediately peek or prepare to peek once they've opened something up. I mean, think about how many times you and I do that. The second that you open something, whether it be with a sledgehammer or a thermite charge or whatever, you immediately think to peek because like you just blew it open. So on the defending side, just position yourself in a way that is ready for that curiosity. Move to a position that you can be ready for that. Fortunately, that worked for me, and I was able to additionally hear Twitch in the hallway. I changed up my height and pre-fired the corner to a great extent to close out the round. That's it for today, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope I helped you guys better understand what all to be thinking about when you decide to move around and make your movements. Remember to hit up the giveaway link down in the description below if you'd like to try and grab a new SCUF controller. Additionally, I will be streaming fairly frequently over on Twitch now because of summer, so if you'd ever like to play with me on PS4, Xbox, or PC, I do viewer games occasionally where I pull people from the Discord and then even my Twitch subs in Twitch chat. Until next time, guys, I will see you all in the next video.